I'm not going to have much free time over the next couple of days, and my insomnia is acting up, so I'm going to record a bunch of these fights in a row, so excuse the similar outfits, me wearing glasses because I took my contacts out, and it being very late at night while I record these, but let's go ahead and knock out some fights. So the next couple you're going to see edited and uploaded happen pretty much at the same time. Logen, 9 Fingers versus Anomander Rake. Starting with the 7 categories, we have origin, development, role, interest for the reader, relationships, who would win in a fight, and the tiebreaker that only matters if it's a tie. Who would do better in the other's world? Kicking it off with origin. Now, the origin of Anomander Rake follows a much more classic fantasy trope. He is a centuries-old being who has had a large role in this world for a very long time. His influence and name mean a lot in this world, and he's a leader who partakes in battle because classic fantasy tropes, and this makes him stand out a lot in a very modern fantasy type series. Malazan has a good balance between the two, and I really like the execution of Anomander in this way. Logen, 9 Fingers, on the other hand, is a much more modern origin, kind of this tragic backstory trying to be redeemed character. I like it quite a bit, but he has a very bloody past and he's trying to redeem himself in some way, trying to distance himself from the incredibly bloody name and reputation that's been following him for so long. I like both of these origins quite a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and give the slight edge here to Anomander just because having this juxtaposition of classic trope inside the modern fantasy kind of type series that is Malazan really adds a kind of flavor to the character overall that I really enjoy. Next up, we have development, and this is where Logen, 9 Fingers, in my opinion, shines strongest. Throughout the series, he doesn't really change a whole lot as a man, but the person who's underneath all these layers becomes clearer and clearer to us as the reader, and I really enjoyed the execution of this. I wouldn't call him completely tragic because he is such a great personality to have in the group, and he's someone who, while he's constantly trying to redeem himself, you really believe in. On the other hand, Anomander is so old, and we pretty much get him right away. There's not so much depth there and not a ton of development. So from what I've seen so far, I'm going to go ahead and give this point to Logen, 9 Fingers. Now we have role they play in the world they are in. Not really a competition here. Logen, 9 Fingers is important, don't get me wrong. He's someone who has made a big difference in certain battlefields and fights, and is one of the best brawlers in the entire world that he's in. But that being said, Anomander Rake is like someone who leads an entire race that floats in the sky. So I'm gonna lean him this way a little bit. It's not really a fair fight between these two right now. Now we have interest for the reader. This one is tough because they have entirely different appeals. Anomander Rake is that epic, ominous presence appeal. He's someone who has power, and every time he enters a scene, we as the reader kind of shiver in our boots a little because we're so excited to see what he's going to do. Really, the options for him are limitless. Logen, 9 Fingers, on the other hand, is a much more interpersonal story for us. It's someone we relate to a lot more, someone who has a lot more emotional impact. These are completely different interest aspects, and I think they're done at almost equal quality. So for that reason, I'm actually going to call this point a wash. Now we have relationships. Logen, 9 Fingers takes this point as easily as Anomander took the role point. His relationship with his companions in the series, as well as kind of the inner turmoil he has with himself, really lends to him being someone who's fantastic to follow all the way through. And yes, Anomander Rake does have some really good relationships within the series and some good back and forth and banter with a couple people, but it just doesn't stand a chance against the First Law Trilogy and the sheer level of relationship building that happens there. It's such a key cornerstone of that series that it's really unfair to even pit Anomander Rake against Logen, 9 Fingers in this category, but it's how the tournament works, so it's what we're gonna do. I really need new glasses. Now we have who would win in a fight. Well, one of these people can turn into a dragon. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Anomander Rake here. Anomander has just been around for so much longer. He has demonstrated such great skill at what he does. He's just in a whole nother class above Logen, 9 Fingers in my opinion. But moving on, we're going to jump into the tiebreaker, who would do better in the other's world. This is hard to call because both of these guys out of their element would be kind of fish out of water. But I think Logen Ninefingers, for what he's been trying to do throughout the series, would end up doing better. And that is because he's been trying to escape his reputation in his past for this whole series. And giving him a full fresh start would really allow him to accomplish his goal and get that fresh new start. Meanwhile, Anomander Rake would be a pretty powerful presence within the First Law Trilogy, but he would be losing so much. He would lose his people, he would lose his floating place, and all these things that he would have to then work towards even rebuilding where he once was. Meanwhile, Logen would really get what he wants all along. But that doesn't really matter because it wasn't a tie, so this point only counts for point 9. The victory here goes to Anomander Rake. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe if you have not already. Let me know what you thought of the fight down in the comments below. I put my contacts in. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.